Okay, some more kooky thoughts written on Christmas 2014. They say that light travels faster than sound, but I can't help wondering whether this includes all light frequencies or just the light frequencies within our visible range as humans. Does anyone know whether UV light or ultraviolet, infrared, X-ray, gamma waves, microwaves, radio really travel at a constant speed when we're only able to observe or detect light speed using only 2 dimensions? Perhaps if one were to have the ability to detect and measure the movement of light beyond 2D, one would be able to see or detect the reflection and shadows of light beyond our visual spectrum. Perhaps I'm mistaken, but I thought I read somewhere that Newton believed that the rate of time was constant. Einstein proved that wrong with his insights on how time is relative and not constant. So perhaps the genius who is the next one in line to join the Newton-Einstein continuum will be able to provide insight on light speed not being constant but rather relative. Why is light speed limited to a vacuum when it might be possible to escape or exceed the vacuum and surpass the speed of light? If our universe is, in fact, inside a giant black hole, perhaps, if one can go beyond and travel over the black hole, one would be exceeding the speed of light in a vacuum black hole. Besides, how can we be so sure about light speed when we can't even measure beyond 2 dinky dimensions? What if sound travels faster than light in some higher dimension, or the frequencies of different electromagnetic waves were in reverse order of wavelengths that we detect in 2D, so that light, sound, vibrations, and electromagnetism remained intertwined via the higher dimensions that humans are not aware of in order to keep these properties interconnected and not separate completely from one another? What if physics or light properties are different in higher dimensions that we aren't aware of? It appears as if the physics on planet Earth might be dragging. I have to wonder this because of my observations of Felix's new record of the highest parachute jump off planet Earth, as well as the first man to go faster than sound as we know it. But it wasn't the longest jump as far as duration of time in the air goes. That record was still kept by the dude before, who broke the record in the 1960s. So why did 1960s guy last longer in the air than Felix? If Felix traveled a greater distance at a faster speed going down to Earth than the 1960s dude. How does physics explain that one? Change in the atmosphere? Change in the density of air? Does the type of parachute play a role in how quickly one parachutes down to Earth? Because Felix was delayed at first to engage opening of the parachute. Was Felix closer distance to the Earth than the 1960s dude? When he opened his parachute, does weather or wind turbulence play a factor? Or perhaps the acceleration of a falling object actually exceeds time in the air via such fast falling speeds, sort of like hot water freezes more quickly than cold water when exposed to freezing temperature for water. So many factors, so many variables, so many unknowns that are twisted far beyond human knowledge in the higher dimensions. By the way, it is possible to travel above the black hole rather than through it. I did once, according to my Reiki teacher, Patricia. So I have to wonder if that means I traveled outside of the interdimensional time tunnel, the tunnel that limits the speed of light to the rate as we know it today, what we think is the fastest speed possible currently. Exceeding that limiting speed of light may result in going beyond where our tunneled vision limits us to as a human race that only knows or see just a mere pinhole of reality for light properties with such 2D linear thinking. It's like trying to see light looking through a line where the view is only a pinhole size to see light.